Sivaya Nama, Tiruchitrambalam. Welcome back to our discussion on Sokkanatha Venba, verse number 6. The verse goes this way. Varignar thamai okka vaikkum mannar pola அறிஞர் தமை ஆழ்வது அன்றி பொறிபுலனால் வெம்புவேன் தன்னை விடுத்தாழ்வதே பாரம் சம்புவே சொக்கநாதா. Today's verse is such a beautiful one and it gives a beautiful analogy as well. Here, the author, the saint, calls Lord Shiva as Sambhu. Sambhu means someone who is the one creating happiness. Shankara means someone who gives happiness. Someone to give happiness, he needs to first create it, right? That is what Sambhu is all about. Shambho. Shambhu means someone who creates happiness. What kind of happiness? Not the one which is created by senses, but rather beyond senses. Because today we know, if I am watching too much of movie, if I'm watching too much of my phone and all these, my eyesight is going to be damaged after a while. So today something is giving me happiness. In the long run, it is going to give me pain. I'm tempted towards ice creams and sweets. If I don't control it, today it gives me happiness. But if I don't control it, tomorrow I'm going to fall sick. Anything. Listening to music, seeing something for a long time, smelling something, touch, everything, the five senses, we are getting pleasure because of those, but the same pleasure is giving us a lot of pain as well in future. But Lord Shiva, the one happiness that he is giving is permanent. There is no destruction, there is no way it can turn into pain as well. So he creates a permanent happiness and he gives us the permanent happiness. The verse here talks about a beautiful analogy. You know how difficult it is for Lord Shiva to take charge of us and give this happiness? Do you think it's easy for him to do that? No. The reason is we get attracted towards the five senses, but we are not ready to get attracted to Lord Shiva. We will be sitting for our Shiv Puja. That is the time we will get a phone call. We wouldn't even think about putting that in silence or whatever. We will immediately talk. We get the temptation to talk. We will be, the moment you sit for Shiv Puja, that is where when you smell something in the kitchen, our thought is already in the kitchen. It's so difficult for Lord Shiva to take charge of us because we are giving in to all the temptations. And the beautiful analogy that the saint uses here is something that we should be resonating on. Can you ever think of an emperor? Imagine Rajaraja Chola. We all know what kind of a great emperor he was. Imagine he calling in a normal civilian, telling him, okay, from today, from this minute onwards, we both are equal. I'm going to share my entire wealth with you. 50%, equal 50%, I'm going to give it to you. In the first place, this is not possible. We all know none of the emperors have done that, and even in future they are not going to do that because the greed is something that is going to be with us forever. We know how difficult it is for a king to do this kind of action. Similar to that, in this place, the king is ready to give us happiness, but the civilian as us, we are not ready to take it up. We can imagine this kind of a comparison, right? But it is so easy for Lord Shiva to take charge of people who have already surrendered themselves 100% to Lord Shiva. We call them as Jivan Muktar. Jivan Muktar is someone who has already been in the path of enlightenment and they already have the maturity. It is so easy for Lord Shiva to take charge of them and give them the happiness. But for people like us, or rather me, it's so difficult for Lord Shiva. He has to work 3 or 4 or even 100 times more harder to get us onto his path, to his line. That's what verse number 6 is all about. Such a beautiful one to talk about what kind of a trouble Lord Shiva is going through to take charge or control us or give us the maturity. I'll come back again with the next verse very soon. Until then, Sivaya Nama, Tiruchitrambalam.